Hey everybody, and welcome to the FFL Solidity team call. My name is Marisa Maggio. Today is Thursday, February 8th, 2024, and we are just coming off annual convention. Super excited. Today I have three very special guests on the call with me. I have Liz, Jordan, and Yana, who are all fairly new agents, and they just came out of convention. From what I saw anyways, seems like they had an amazing experience. And guys, we're doing this call not just to hear from, Liz, Yana, and Jordan, as awesome as it's going to be, but also just to see sometimes we go to convention and we take all these notes, right? Which is great. And then we come back from convention and we don't use the notes, right? So it's like, guys, let's make sure we're going back to those little tidbits that we said we were going to go back to. So just so you guys are kind of with me, I'm going to go in the order of Liz, Jordan, Yana. All right. So just to kind of hit it off, I'm going to ask a couple quick questions. And guys, it's really about takeaways, right? Like what they took away from it and kind of how that could be applicable to your business. Because if it can be applicable to Liz's business, it could probably be applicable to my business as well, right? So just to kind of hit it off, Liz, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Of course, you're always great, Liz. You're always great, which I love, by the way. All right. So you were at convention with us this past week and kind of talk to us a little bit about, some of your biggest takeaways or your biggest takeaway.
Well, I made a couple of notes from the beginning when I got started with this. Um, I, I could be considered a Jesus freak. So coming into this business, my whole mindset is if I can't take Jesus with me, I don't want it. And I've talked to a couple of clients. I mean, always talk about being blessed, and you hear their messages and stuff. They all always talk about being blessed or whatever. And one guy said that he doesn't need insurance because he's going to be raptured. So, anyways, what I took away from the convention was how many people got up on that stage and talked about God. Like, I'm in the right place. Absolutely in the right place. I can carry on. At school, when I was a teacher, I couldn't mention Jesus, higher power, nothing. I couldn't talk about morals. I couldn't talk about anything. Anyways, and so that was a huge thing that's what I saw, what I heard from so many people. Another takeaway was, I get on the different trainings, the different calls and stuff. And some of them, they're like, everybody's just so high up, so above my head. And it just it's mind blowing. I have so much to learn. Um, and I think I'm so under everybody else that how can I get there? But what I got from the convention was how very real everybody is. So many stories of brokenness, being broke. If you're willing to work, you're willing to put in the time, I'm there. You can do this. Why not me? Um, and I get it now. I've heard that, different people saying that, but why not? Why not us? Why can't we do this? So,
I love that, Liz. And, I love how you said I felt like I was in the right place, right? Because sometimes we can find ourselves feeling like I thought I was in the right place, but I'm in the wrong place, right? And that can feel not so good. So I'm happy that you have that feeling of, hey, I'm in the right place because I think that's really important and, kind of pours into your work and how you work, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So I love that you said that and how people shared stories of being like broke and broken, so to say. And I think that we all kind of come from there. I think that success is found in when we're going through those hard adversities, just kind of like you're saying, like they broke through it, why can't I? Right. And being able to open up your eyes to that, I think is just huge. And that's awesome. So why not you, Liz, right? Why not us, right? Why not whoever is listening, right? So absolutely. And then how about something that you've implemented since coming out of convention?
oh shoot. I'm trying to be brief because I want to hear Yana and Jordan. um, one of the things is getting up, starting earlier, um, and staying on that. Heather, she's always like that step ahead of me, and I can't do the 4 o'clock. I don't see that ever happening. But you know, the 5 o'clock, okay, I'm there. Another thing is reaching out to people. I met somebody new in line, waiting the lead line at 6, whatever. Heather said, we got to be there at 6 o'clock. Oh, shoot. Anyway, so I met, I met somebody, I met lots of people new, but this one particular girl, she said, I think she said she was from Charlotte. I don't remember. But anyways, and I said, oh, where did you go to the North Carolina for the conference in the fall? And she said, no, I didn't know about it. You mean there was a conference that came here? And I thought, dude, I'm reaching out. Yes, there's a conference. And so anyways, actually reached out to her. I've been telling her, I told her about all of the different trainings and classes and stuff. And so that's my goal, is to encourage, support, I don't know, in my own piddly way, um, how to help others.
I love
Another
that.
thing was respect yourself, respect your time. People are not going to respect you unless you respect yourself first. So, um, and I've been truly punched in the face this week. I understand the expression now. I was like, why? What is with the t-shirt? What's with the book title? Punch me in the face. I don't get it. I get it now. I get it. I've been punched down. I've been beaten up this week. I will dial. Respect me. I'm gonna work today.
That's right. That's right. I love
Um,
that. The punch me in the face, by the way, Liz, that got me too. I was like, that's very Sean, which I love, by the way. Then I was like, no, this all makes sense. We all get punched in the face every day. It's just about getting back up, right? And I love that you
Absolutely.
said, you changed kind of the time you're waking up. Like, 4 maybe is not your forte. That's all good. 5 o'clock, it's a great place to be if you ask me. And then also, like you said, respect yourself and your time. I think that that's huge, right? Sometimes, like for example, I'll share this with you guys really quickly. I don't want to, overdo it here. But yesterday, okay, some of you guys heard me live on the dial team. I let this lady waste like an hour and a half of my time. Like I knew she wasn't buying. But she was telling stories. She was the whole nine. She ended up knowing like my great aunt that passed away literally like 20 years ago. It was just a really weird situation. However, I let her waste my time. And when I got off the phone, I felt almost in a place of like, now I just missed 4 appointments and like she disrespected my time. So when we can start taking that seriously, it does move us forward. Because I was really mad at myself yesterday, Liz. I was like, how can I come out of convention and let this lady waste 2 hours of my time, right? But you're learning, hey, respect yourself, respect your time, and others are going to do the same. I also love how you were able to share with that agent. Pouring into other people usually helps us in our own performance, is what I've realized and noticed too. So one more reason to do it. And then I'm going to wrap up with one last quick question for you, Liz, which is going to be your favorite part of convention and why you think it's important that everybody does get there.
Getting to hug all of you. I love this team. I've talked to Heather so many times. Being a teacher sucks the life out of you. So the attitudes and having to constantly wrangle uh, cats, and it's just, teaching is hard. And then the admin, and I came to this team, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But you guys, you are my family. I love the energy that we pour into each other, and actually getting to see you in person, hugging you, was so important to me. I loved hearing everybody's stories up on stage. It was huge for me, huge for me. Um, just everybody is so real. I mean, really, all of these top producers, and they actually do have a past, and they're like real people. And um, anyways, I love learning from people and hearing the stories. And the other question was, everybody should be there. Everybody. There's no excuse. This is your business. And I know we all said this going into convention, but there's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse. There's too much to learn to not go there, to be there, to glean the nuggets. And you may not, it may, everybody not may not say the right thing to you, or, but somebody's going to.
Right.
It's lots of people. You just learn from so many different people, so many different perspectives. So everybody should be there.
Absolutely. I love that. And also one of my favorite parts too is being able to hug it out. Like Liz, I feel like I know you, like like in real life. And now I'm like, okay, I've met Liz in real life. I've hugged her. It's definitely Liz, right? But also, like you said, the energy in that room is amazing, right? You don't see it's not just one person you're hearing from. It's multiple different people that are doing this at a high level. So you're able to be like, okay, maybe I don't resonate with this person. Maybe I really resonate with this person. And that's what I love about convention is, there's a different person, so to say, that everybody, needs to hear from and they didn't even know they had to. That makes sense. So I love your answer that everybody needs to be there, that it makes sense and it shows you what the opportunity actually is. So Liz, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being at convention and being there for yourself, pouring in. And last thing, you won some leads, didn't you?
$3,000.
$3,000 in leads.
Well,
Amazing.
okay, actually 4,000 because my mentor, she prized me with $1,000.
Of course she did. Of course she did. I love Heather. She's awesome. So $4,000, all because you donated $150 to the Dream Center. You got there early. You got in front. You got in front of Sean's face, and you were like, "I'm right here." And I've been early every single day. And you guys had the most amazing signs. So I love, love, love to hear that. That makes me so happy. Liz, thank you so much for pouring in. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So Jordan, we're gonna pop over to you. Jordan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Doing amazing.
As always. And Jordan, it was a pleasure meeting you and your wife, and congratulations on the baby to come, which is very, very exciting. So you're a prime example of no excuses, right? You got yourself out there, and I think that that's awesome.
Mhm.
Now, just to kind of jump in, Jordan, what was your biggest takeaway or takeaways from convention?
Well, man, there was a lot of different takeaways in the convention. I mean, just as Liz, explained, it was an amazing event. But one of the biggest takeaways for me personally was just be proud of the profession that I'm in, and truly build relationships with the people that I'm working with. One of the biggest phrases that resonated with me was people over profits. And I really did love that because, for me growing up, I've always wanted to help people, regardless of what it was. And, um, you know, that's one of the reasons why I kind of gotten into the field of just finances or with money in general, when I was going to school or college, was to be able to try to help people with their finances because I knew that that was one of the biggest problems, in the world, honestly. So, when they said people over profits, it resonated with me because if you're focused on helping a lot of people, eventually the money is going to roll in, you know what I mean? And, that's just one of the biggest takeaways that I took from that because you're not looking at each person as a transaction, like you're looking at building relationship with that person. With Frank Euphemia, what one thing that he was talking about was just being able to go over his client's house and, sit down, have a drink, have a good conversation, bring his kids over, right? Meet his grandkid, his clients' grandkids, things like that. Like being able to form a bond to where you're having ties as if they're your own family. I really love that about the company, and I really love that each and every person has that opportunity with each other, but with the people that they help.
Absolutely. And I love how you opened it with be proud of the profession that we're in. Jordan, and you're aware of this because if not, that wouldn't have probably stuck out to you. But it's not always that appealing when people are like, "What do you do for work?" And I'm like, "I sell life insurance," right? It's like, then it's like, okay, like it's almost like they picture like at me with the briefcase, right? Like walking to people's houses, right? However, that's really not what we do, right? It's like we're helping families and we're protecting a legacy. At the end of the day, are we selling life insurance? 100%. But we're helping people, like you said, with their finances to make sure that they can understand when the worst day of their life should come, what it's going to look like, right? And people over profit, that is huge. That's like going to make or break your business, whether it's in the personal production side or it's on the building side, right? It's like, I'm never going to disrespect anybody on this call for my own financial gain, if that makes sense, right? And nor is Jordan, nor is anybody. And I think that that's huge. People over profit and building those relationships, again, whether it's within your team, within the company, or with your client. Frankie, you feed me, I did share a really powerful story, as Jordan mentioned, just about how he's like able to watch his clients like grandkids. They trust him. He goes there like once a month and has a couple of drinks and dinner. It's like those are the things that this business can do for us. And Jordan, I love how you pointed out, be proud of the profession that you're in. When you can do that, guys, it's almost like when you stop caring about what people think, your life changes. It's the same concept. So Jordan, I love that. And then how about something that you've implemented since coming out of convention?
Something I implemented since coming out of convention is telling my story to people more. And why I got started in the business and why I do what I do. Because your story matters because you matter and you have to be able to let your voice be heard. A lot of you guys actually don't even know my story, so I'm gonna tell you a little bit of it. My father actually passed away in 2020. And he didn't just pass away, he got murdered, right? And it was just a really big change and shift for me and my family during that time, because it was right before Christmas, one of the biggest times other than Thanksgiving, that all the family comes together. And going through that type of emotional burden, but not only that, we did experience that financial burden. We didn't have the funds to be able to immediately have a funeral for my father. It really took a big toll on me. So when I found just the life insurance industry, before I came to FFL, I was with a company called Primerica, and they weren't focused on helping families. They weren't focused on truly like helping people with getting protecting themselves against what was going on. And so with me moving forward and was able to find this company, it was like, hey, we want to focus on the clientele that we're helping and making sure that they're protected against financial burden. That's one thing that was really big to me. So as I start telling people a lot more of my story and where I came from and why I got into this business, it really just let off a lot of pressure for me personally, because at that point, um, it definitely is just like, people thought that I had something to prove to you, but it's like, no, like I really got a passion for this because I went through it. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I chose this industry and continue to try to build and plan that this is my plan A. There is no plan B. Like this is going to work.
That's right. Jordan, I can't thank you enough for sharing that with us, and my condolences to you. I didn't even know that. So your story is so powerful. I'm trying not to tear up right now, but your story is powerful and your voice is powerful. I don't care who you are in this call. Here's the thing, and Jordan, I don't know if you might be able to relate to this. Sometimes we don't necessarily hide things, but we just don't like to talk about them, right? Things in our past, things that we went through. Like I always say, struggle, dream, victory, right? And that might mean different things at different times in our lives. But you going through that, I can't even imagine, but you saw how it played out. You saw how important this was. And like you mentioned, the company you were at prior, you didn't really feel like they were focusing on helping people. You felt like, not that way. That's all I'm going to say there. But there's a lot of power in everybody's story, right? So your story might not be exactly Jordan's, but Jordan, definitely keep sharing that story, because here's what I know. If I was out there and I was looking like to join, and somebody was able to be vulnerable enough to share that story and why this is so important, then I would probably want to work with them over many other people. So being able to share those vulnerabilities is huge. Even though I can imagine it's not something that you want to talk about, but it's something you lived through, right? And you grew through. So I respect the heck out of you just for going through that and dealing with it. But also for being willing to share your story now and saying, I want to share my story. Like, I want people to know how this looks, what it looks like, and why this is important, right? And that's huge and amazing because, like you said, you lived it. And when you live something, it's a lot different than when you're just trying to shed light on it, so to say. So, Jordan, I'm really sorry that you went through that, but thank you so much for sharing that on this call today. It means more than you know. Now, just to kind of go down a different side of that, what was your favorite part of convention, and why do you think it's important that everybody should be at convention?
I would say my favorite part of the convention was attending the award ceremony. Personally, I'm a very, very competitive person, right? I grew up playing football since I was like 6 years old. Went off to college to play football. So it's just like having that competitiveness in the business, but not only that, seeing a lot of other people in that position where you want to be at, seeing them getting the rewards, getting those accolades. It's really very inspiring, because when you see people in that type of position, you have to understand and know that you have to change, right? Change can be scary, but what's scarier than change is allowing fear to stop you from growing, evolving, and progressing. There's one thing that I follow is the 3 C's in life, and that's choice, chance, change. You must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything in your life to change. And, being at that award ceremony and obviously cheering everybody on at that, at that event was just amazing. And just visualizing myself, and not just myself, but everybody here on the team on the call to be able to walk across that stage and receive the reward of whatever category that they wanted to receive that reward in. And that was one of my biggest takeaway, and if my favorite part of the convention. And it's funny because I think it's literally important for everybody to be there because it literally builds your self-worth, which in return grows your net worth. That was the the biggest thing that you and Rami was talking about at the convention. And it's very important to be around those like-minded people like that because the sum of your 5 friends, you're going to become that sixth person. And when David Goggins was on and he was talking about just not caring about what people think about you, he was like, one of the phrases he said was, "Why care about what someone else thinks if they're not even working towards what you are working towards?" And I think that that really resonated a lot for sure throughout the convention, especially at the ceremony too, because we're all working towards the same type of goals. And so, definitely hearing you guys' opinions and what you guys think about what I should or shouldn't do for my business, it definitely does matter to me because we're working towards the same goals. And if not, obviously you're in a position better than I am. So I definitely do recommend, the newcomers to definitely get into the convention. Do whatever you have to do to get there. I know I did what I had to do to get there. And because you wouldn't regret it. Those 3 days is just massive, massive learning. And you can definitely implement each and every advice and structure that was given throughout that entire event right away, in your life, your personal life, your business life, your relationships, all of it. It was very, very beneficial for me.
Absolutely. You dropped a lot there, Jordan, which is great. But what I really did love is how you said the award ceremony. And, I know that the first time that I was at an FFL convention and the award ceremony happened, I felt the same way. I was like, like this is where I'm gonna be next year. Like I could visualize myself there. And when you write it down, you say it out loud and you visualize it, you work towards it, you're gonna get there. So Jordan, I'm not betting against you at all that you're gonna be up there and whatever category you want to be in, no doubt in my mind. Also, I like that the 3 C's. You said choice, change, choice, chance, and change, right? You have to make a choice, take a chance to have a change, right? So change always needs to happen. It's typically really uncomfortable, right? But once we make it, we reap the rewards of it for sure. And then why care what other people think? I think that that's huge, and it can be a big problem just in general, but also just in this industry. It's like, to be quite frank, guys, if you go, if I think about myself 5 years ago and how I thought about what other people thought, it's like I held myself back in business, in life, and spiritually, mentally, emotionally, truly, because it's like I had people around me that had different goals than me. So I was so concerned with why they wanted to do ABC that I was doing ABC versus EFG, which was going to help me get to where I wanted to go. So I love that. And then, like you said, Jordan, being there and just like seeing it, and whether you're like, I've never missed a convention and I never will. Like if I do, guys, like, like right hand of God, like I'm not missing. Like I'm not missing. Okay. So you got to be there. It's going to help you up your business. Just like Jordan said, those 3 days are extremely impactful. They're long, but they're amazing. Like you pull some, it doesn't even feel like it was that long. It almost feels like it like sped by, right? So Jordan, it was awesome seeing both you and your wife out there, and being able to just meet you guys face to face was absolutely amazing. So I'm super, super excited for you and the changes that you're making in your business and for yourself, and happy for you. And now, Jordan, you also won some leads as well.
Oh yeah. Oh
How
yeah.
much did you win?
Man, I won $2,000 worth of leads.
Let's go.
It was amazing. I had to get creative. I had to get really creative to get the second piece for sure. Cause I didn't have any signs, like Heather was out there prepared. I was like, what? I didn't know it was gonna be really like that. Like people came with like signs that was like 15 feet tall. I was just like, all right, you know what? I just wrote on a piece of paper. I would do a backflip for some leads. And I was able to get in front of Sean's cameraman. That was able to get it, get me there. And he was just like, "Oh yeah, we got to get him on." So that's how I was able to get that second piece on there. But yeah, no, definitely next convention, I'm coming very well prepared. Because man, when he's just giving them out, giving them out, giving them out. There was a person that was actually sitting in front of me. He won like $6,000 worth of leads. So I was just like, okay, you know what? This is serious. This is serious. So, but yeah, no, definitely grateful for winning the 2000 for sure.
Absolutely. And that's going to help you kind of up your business now. So that's really exciting. And guys, just like we said before, everybody went, like, you're going to get leads. Like if you try, right? Like Heather, like, is like, I don't think there's a better person that like we could all look at as an example of like how to get leads at conventions than how Heather Robeson sets it up. So absolutely amazing. Jordan, you did a backflip and you had an amazing sign. I wish I saw the backflip because I didn't. However, that has
No,
to be recorded somewhere. Somebody got that on camera,
somewhere.
so we'll find it. We'll find it. But awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Jordan. Thank you for being vulnerable, and thanks for sharing your story. And just like you said, keep sharing that story, because although I can imagine how tough it is for you, I'm really proud of you for being able to share it. So thanks, Jordan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. And now, Yana, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. You're always great, Yana, which I love. Now, it was awesome seeing you at convention. I've met you prior in person, but still always being able to give you a hug and just see you is amazing. And you coming kind of back into the business is really exciting. So same couple of questions. What was your biggest takeaway or takeaways from convention?
I think just the entire concept behind the reason of why we're doing this. It was just so refreshing to actually meet everybody in person. I completely agree with Liz and Jordan on that. Kind of just seeing and, seeing everybody and hearing everybody's stories. I think it's just incredibly powerful. So there's a bunch of stories that really stick out with me, but I think, Shannon Sharp's kind of hit me the most. But nonetheless, I think there was a lot of really good points that we got from that. So, it's something that personally I tried implementing through like sticky notes, don't forget this, don't forget that. And, kind of just going into the point of servicing a client, besides it just selling a client, you have to service a client. And that was the biggest takeaway that I got, because the family first life aspect of it is you really do, you know, have to build your family around it. So all your clients are also your family. A bunch of people, you know, also said, like, I think it was Jeffrey Kamsra who said, you know, love your clients the same way that you do love your family. And, you know, when you service a client, that's the same thing that you would do for your family. So I think when you talk to a client and you talk about your stories and you listen to their stories, it really builds that trust and bond, which kind of I think is my favorite part of this business because it's not just transactional, which is what Trey Honeycutt would say all the time. You know, like stories tell, but facts sell. And it's just, you know, it's just great stuff that we got to learn from convention. So I'm super grateful. I'm super thankful that I got to have the experience to actually be able to come back and get another chance at it because unfortunately I wasn't able to remember the name of the person who said it, but they also had left for a brief period of time and was like, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where, you know, you water your grass. And I think FFL is, you know, just an amazing place to be in general. So I'm here to water my grass and everyone else's too, clients too, and my team.
I love that. And service, not selling. I think that that's huge. You all kind of hit on that. We all always kind of hit on that, but when we actually really think about it and internalize it, it's different, right? Treating your client like your family. Like there's a big difference between like I'm going to treat my client like my family and actually thinking about like, hey, how can I treat my client like my family so it doesn't feel transactional, right? And I think that that's amazing. I also love how you said like it was Mike File up there. The grass isn't greener on the other side. He had left for a really brief period of time and he had came back. Um, Now, same thing with you, Yana. You said you're going to water your grass. Like, no doubt you're going to water your grass. I know you're working through your ebbs and flows, just like a lot we all are. And I know no doubt that you're going to see a lot of success here because you just keep moving in the right direction, which is what we all need, right? Now, what was something that you implemented from convention since, you know, jumping out of it?
I think going back to that servicing a client, you know, in the sense that you need to make it a point to go back and talk to them, you know, call them after they get their policy, you know, just ensure, I think Nina and Hayden were saying that like once they get their policy, you have to make sure that, you know, I'm going to give you a call as soon as you're approved, you know, the 24 to 72 hours. I'm going to give you a call in 2 weeks. Make sure you write down my name and my number on top of it so that your family knows. Make sure that you talk to your family about it because I'm going to be the person there that, you know, would help you, your family, you know, just basically make sure that all your final wishes are taken care of the way that you told me. Because a lot of these times, you know, these people will say that, they have to talk to their family about it. They don't know about it. And I'm like, well, this is a great conversation. Like, I hope I'm not too scary to be the person that you talk about your funeral about. But I just want you to be knowledgeable about it. I'm grateful that I'm the one to educate you because some clients will also be like, I have no idea that was a thing. And I'm like, yes, make sure that, you know, this is something that you know, make sure that this is something your family knows. And kind of just implementing the idea that, you know, I'm going to be with you for life. So the couple of clients that I was able to close since I've started, you know, I kind of made sure to make it a point, you know, save my phone number. If something happens, call me, write down my name. You know, I'm going to check up on you like every couple of months or so. And then I think, you know, I've always been big on birthdays, but I think that's something that I personally wanted to implement. Just, you know, if I'm there for life for you, just, you know, wishing you like at least a happy birthday, like once a year, I think that's kind of important to establish that like bonds that kind of brings you closer to family to begin with. So just the following ups, I think is huge.
Absolutely. And I can tell you guys, you know, when I first got into the business, I didn't always follow up with my clients. And Yana, just like you're saying, I was selling, you know, I was selling. I wasn't giving service, right? Per se. So when you follow up with your clients, they're going to trust you more. You follow up, you make sure that they got the policy, you make sure that they write certain things down. You make sure that they know, like, I'm your agent for life. If anything happens, call me. That they understand that you're going to be following up with them. And essentially, you're doing what you tell them you're going to do, right? If you tell your client, hey, you know, hey, Yana, when, you know, you're going to get that policy in the mail in 5 to 7 days, you know, let me know once you receive it so we can go through it. And you're not following up with your client, like Yana might cancel on me because she's like, this girl never called me back. Like she called me once, you know, I spoke to her, I thought she was great. And now she's not even answering my phone call, right? So being able to make sure that we're following up, we're following through, and we're doing what we said we're going to do, and going that extra mile to keep them as your client for life. Like you said, the happy birthday, right? Like we can set that up on Ringy, like so it can just like automatically go out. Like you said, one time a year, it's not that deep, and it's going to help keep that relationship close. And guess what? Whenever they hear somebody needs insurance, they're immediately going to think about you because they know that you're thinking about them. So I love that. Yeah. And then just to kind of close it out, what was your favorite part of convention and why do you think everybody should be at convention?
I'm gonna go straight back to Shannon Sharp, to be honest. Besides the award ceremony and getting to see everybody at Yard House, going back to like hugging everybody and just, being around the team, I think it's very powerful in the sense of like effervescence when everyone's together. And the energy in the room is insane for a convention. But my favorite part, which hit my why the most, and I think actually solidified it, was when Shannon Sharp was talking about his grandmother, because it just resonated with me. My grandma, is everything for me. I grew up with her, and she would take me on trips. She was, like every year she would save up all her money to take me to Europe, to show me the world, to push me to do better. She put me through college. And then I did my final paper on her, when graduating. And now like she still supports me, and it's just she's done everything in her life for me. And when Shannon Sharp started talking about, his grandmother and how, same thing, she raised him and his sisters and their nieces, and nephews, and it got me really emotional, especially towards the end. Like, I don't know, it hit deep because I want to be able to do the same thing for my grandmother, my family, and especially just make sure that all her effort in pushing me to be a better person has paid off, because I want to be able to, take her to Europe and take care of like everything for her so that, I'm able to tell her that she can, rest easy, that, when the time does come, because that was just incredible. I got the chills right now, but I could not stop tearing. I wasn't even tearing up. I could not stop crying because it's fantastic. So as soon as I got back, the first thing I did was, go see my grandma. But, it's when the stories, come together. I think that's what really ties in the business and the personal together. And that's why I love like this whole aspect of family first life. It's family, business, personal all together. As for convention, I mean, it really just goes back into that, hearing everybody's stories. Everybody has their own adversities, how they were able to overcome things, how, Barbara Corcoran especially was saying that, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, it matters how many times you get up. And that's how people see success, because, giving up should not be an option, especially when you have something as huge as a goal as, becoming an entrepreneur, which is difficult because no one's going to be telling you what to do. You got to be able to do it for yourself. So convention is really just an exciting time. It's amazing to see everybody, but there's so many nuggets that we get to hit. So many really smart people who, like just push through the adversities. We listened to, Alex Morton talk, Barbara Corcoran, Shannon Sharp, David Goggins, all the Hall of Fame producers, the Integrity Partners. So it's just fantastic because nobody's untouchable. I can go and talk to Nina and Hayden. Sean Mike looked me in the eyes and gave me a lead. Like so it's not like these people are untouchable. It's great to have, such like a amazing company culture. And convention it's once a year. There should be no excuse to not get there.
Absolutely. And you gave me the chills in telling that story, like with Shannon Sharp. And I know that that hits home for you. And, I didn't know the extensiveness of it, but, being able to talk to her the last couple of weeks and just knowing like how close you and your grandmother are, I think it's amazing. And like, Liz was saying, and like Jordan was saying, like we all have that story that we kind of needed to hear, if you will. And it sounds like that was a story that really just resonated with you and you could really relate to. So I love that. And as it pertains to just like people in the company, it's like I've worked, guys, as most of you guys know, Family First Life is the third insurance company I've worked with, and this is where I will stay for life, like no doubt about it. But the other two companies I worked with and other companies, like you guys have been there, a lot of some of you guys have been there. It's like the nature of the people who are quote unquote at the top, like they usually won't even like talk to you. Like they think like, oh, like I'm really important, blah, blah, like No. Here at Family First Life, like, let's be really honest. Like, Sean Mike is not playing. Like, Sean Mike does not think that anybody is better than anybody. Nor do I. Nor does Trey. Nor, you know what I mean? And the list goes on. So that actual humble and hungry, it's like if you're not that, like you're not going to make it a Family First Life. Like if you can't put your ego in your pocket, like you're not going to make it. So just like Yana said, you know, being able to talk to everybody and they're not like, who are you? Why are you here? Right? Like, why are you in my face? Like, leave me alone. It's more like, hey, how can I help you? Right? Like, hey, what question do you have that I might be able to help you out with? So yes, just like Jordan said, all like brothers and sisters. Everybody's there to support one another. And I just truly, truly love that. Um, and Yana, I can't wait to see what's in store, you know, for you in terms of being able to share your own story with your own grandmother and kind of how it's looked for you. So I'm looking forward for the months and the years to come and seeing how much you grow in this business. And just like you said, just like Barbara, you know, if you can fail, as long as you're willing to fail and you get back up again, like it's okay. Trust me, we've all been there. Every single person on this call, every single person at convention that's doing well, that's not, like we've all been there. It's just about how many times can you get up. And Yana, I know how strong you are, and I'm just really proud of what you're doing. So Liz, Jordan, Yana, thank you guys all so much for sharing. Truly, you guys all had a different kind of piece that really like touched my heart. You know, like Liz, you talked about being able to share your actual beliefs, right? You know, Jordan, you talked about being able to share your actual story and, you know, being able to share it in confidence and being able to understand why it's important to share it, right? And Yana, you talked about how it all goes back to your why, right? The why is the biggest thing that's going to stay in your face. The why is the thing that's going to get you to pick up the phone when you really don't want to pick up the phone. So you guys all really hit on big things, and I love that. I'm super excited for what's in store for all three of you guys. I intentionally picked the three of you because you guys are all, you know, newer, so to say. And you know, you're all just kind of like getting moving and grooving. And I just thought you were three great people to hear from. So thank you guys all so much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. And now, so guys, convention was amazing. We're going to have some, you know, exciting stuff kind of rolling out over the next, you know, few weeks or so. But outside of that, please feel free to unmute yourselves, guys. Actually, Yana, real quick, you also win leads. What did you win in leads?
3,000.
Oh, 3,000, just 3,000. All right.
Just
So
3,000.
between just the three of them, that's 8,000. All right. I know Heather won a bunch of leads. I know that there's quite a few other people I'm missing right now.
Heather won $4,000 of leads. So just between the four of them, $12,000 in leads.
That's
That's
crazy.
insane.
With a $450 donation collectively, or $600 donation collectively. Rather, sorry guys, I'm not that good at math. You guys know that. But you don't have to be good at math to do this. So that's the good news. All right. But seriously, guys, you know, so way to get out there, way to just pour into, like, way to care about yourself and your business, right? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't have been there. So awesome job, guys. I'm super proud of each and every one of you guys. I'm just really excited to see where all three of you guys go and where this whole team is going. We're all on a great horizon. But with all that being said, anybody questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to unmute.
Heather has a few updates about the Americal IUL that she wanted to share.
Yes, Heather, please do.
Sure. So I actually was multitasking. I was listening to everybody, but I have one in one ear and one in the other. So I had to do the brand new updates from America. So I wanted to share with you guys some important things. So take some notes on this one. If you don't get updates from America about the IUL, I'm going to give you a phone number if somebody can type it in the chat. You're going to text FFL agents to the number 816-280-8285, and also find them on Instagram, because with those two things, one of the other, they're going to do special things like awards and like treats throughout the year, bonuses and stuff solely with the text and Instagram. So I thought that was important. Additionally, this was actually really, really cool because I suck at the mortgage part, but I'm really getting into the IUL. They are including their IUL in the 10% cashback bonus or cash bonus that they give to us. So if you're like wanting to sell IULs, that is not a reason in my book to actually sell their IUL, but it'll help when you're trying to figure out what's best. Sean always tells us the three things. I know you guys all know them. What's best for your client, what's best for your family, and don't hurt the company. So when you're doing all that and you're trying to figure out what company do I write, that's how I do it every single time. I have to figure out what all of those factors. And a 10% cash bonus is not a bad thing for your family. And it's and the IUL for them is going to be very comparable to the Mutual of Omaha IULE. So that was really good news for me. I was very excited. So the ending of that is May 31st. There's still plenty of time for you to qualify for the 10% cash bonus. As far as when the IUL starts, it is February 23rd. So it rolls out the 23rd. On the 22nd, they're going to be doing a special walkthrough training. I'm sure everybody's getting the emails. I don't even know how they're going to blast that out, but the 22nd is a walkthrough training. It rolls out on the 23rd. And this kind of was exciting to me because the Ethos IUL starts at age 20. So sometimes it's not comparable for a teenager. Their issue age starts at 18, just like the Mutual of Omaha. And unlike the Ethos, but like the Mutual of Omaha, it goes till 75. So it's exact same ages as Mutual of Omaha. One of the differences is the minimum age from 18 to 64, not minimum age, sorry, minimum amount is 50,000 from 18 to 64. That is not a bad thing. Somebody who's 18 can certainly qualify for a $50,000 policy because the cost of insurance is so much less at 18 years old. At 65, they'll qualify for the 25,000. So that's being comparable for that death benefit for the healthy 65 and to 75-year-old for the IUL. And their limit goes to 450,000. Additionally, I don't really know if this is the same for Mutual of Omaha, I'm going to be honest, but they're including the living benefit rider for free. That was just something he commented on. I'm not sure how that compares to Mutual of Omaha. And then if you want any updates, you can go to americoiul.com. So that's what I have for you. And I thought that those were certainly things that I didn't know all about. So that was good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, you just schooled me on that. So thank you, because I needed it. It was like the condensed lesson. So thank you so much. Guys, that's huge. Just like Heather said, the 10% bonus, it's every 6 months. You have to qualify. You still have till May 31st to qualify. I love the living benefit. Only thing I would point out that's different from Mutual of Omaha for anyone that's wondering out there, the living benefit in the IULE with Mutual of Omaha, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right here, it's 80% of the face amount. So it's 80%. If you write them for 100,000 of insurance, it's 80% on the living benefit. Whereas Americo is going to match it. So if you write them for 100,000, it's 100,000 a living benefit too. Anybody have questions for that, Heather or myself or anybody on this call might be able to answer? Okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Just to verify the number, because usually when you text like FFL agents or something like that, it goes into I just wanted to double check the number because I texted it and it's an iPhone.
Did anybody else text it?
Heather, will you say the number one more time?
Well, that Boston accent.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to look at the picture. I took a picture of it too. Oh, no, I didn't. It is 816-280-8285.
8285.
Okay. That person's gonna get a whole bunch of texts.
Yeah, because I just texted them and I saw that, it says share your name and photo because it's sent as an iMessage, but usually when you send a company,
yes,
it sends it back that you opted in.
80.
So this person's probably gonna be like, did somebody just hack my phone?
Right.
That's funny.
Guys, we have a ton of content from convention. So what we're gonna do is if you're in the content, when we post it on Instagram, we're gonna do our best to collab with you. Like tomorrow morning, Jordan, the video that's coming out is gonna be a collab with you and FFL Financial Society. If you are gonna be collab with off of the Instagram page, I'll personally reach out to you. I'll send you a text. And if for some reason you don't want the collab to show up on your Instagram page, just don't accept it. If anyone has any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me directly, but I think that could be really cool for everyone.
I think there's like 3 people, including myself, who don't know what collab means.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so essentially all that means is that when we're going to be posting all the content off of the Solidity Insurance Group agency page. So if you're not following Solidity Insurance Group on Instagram, please go follow them now. Please go follow the agency page now, rather. So when we post on there, there's an option essentially to collaborate with the person that's in it. So for example, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be posting a video of Jordan. So I'm going to collaborate with Jordan and FFL Financial Society. So if he accepts that collaboration, it's also going to show up on his Instagram profile page. So it's not just like a tag, it'll actually be on your physical page.
Right.
And like I said, if for some reason you don't want the collab to show up, just decline it. It's not a big deal at all.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
I figured you would be.
All right.
One
Perfect.
comment I did want to say though, at the convention that just like shook me the most. It was the category 500K to 750K. And that guy was just like, Sean asked, oh yeah, how much did you issue premium? He was like, I don't know, 400 to 600. And it's like, you're in the 500 to 750K category. Like, so, seeing something like that is like, okay, yeah, anybody can do this. But not only that, it just goes to show that like people are just putting their heads down and working. Just do what you got to do. Whether if you're seeing results or not, just don't give up. Put your head down, get to work, keep going, let that ball roll. And eventually you're definitely going to get there. Then like when you look up like the number, it's not even going to matter. Like, don't worry about building a brick wall. Worry about laying one brick down perfectly as possible, each brick at a time.
Right. That's right. Thanks for pointing that out, Jordan. I love that too. I was like, oh man, like he's gonna get reamed, But it just showed exactly that. Like, if you just put your head down and go to work, sometimes you might not be counting the result, so to say, but the result is indeed happening because you're just going to work, right? So, Jordan, I'm really excited for you. Thanks for sharing that tidbit too at the end. That's awesome.
Rami,
and guys,
sorry, Rami, real quick, how many of you? Let me pin you, Rami. How many of you were in that category that you were in 500 to 750,000?
I think it was like 48 of us, I believe, 40 or 53. It was one of those 2 numbers. I just can't remember which one exactly.
Out of thousands of agents, guys.
Yes.
That's awesome, Rami.
And you all can do it. Like Jordan said, everyone on this call can. I mean that. Just get to work and you guys never play out. That's all I do. I just sit here and I dial, guys. Nothing separate. Nothing different.
And that's so true. Everybody can do it because and that number is kind of incredible because if you think of how many agents are in the company, and in my category, there was only 74. So do the math, guys. Like right. 74, 58, like that doesn't mean we're special. We're not. That means you can do the same work and get there. Like that's what that means to me.
How much did you issue pay, Heather? What were you at for
361?
Yeah, I think you were 365.
Heather's like, no, it was 361. It was.
But sure, it was 361.
It was okay. I think,
but I only knew that. I only knew that because I was really hard trying to get to the 4. Like that, I can understand that guy saying, I don't know, I did something because it doesn't really matter to me. I just needed that 4, but I didn't, and that's okay. But the fact of the matter is, like everybody, literally, those numbers are so small. Somebody told me that there's only been 300 people even hitting Hall of Fame. I think Stephen Yee told me 300 people prior to this year had hit Hall of Fame. That's a small number. Like, considering how many people we have in this business.
Right.
So guys, anybody can do it.
Right.
Not anybody, but you can do it if you want to.
And
Man,
Steve's not on this call. Sorry, Steve's not on this call right now, but for Annuity Hall of Fame, I think there was maybe 13 people that hit it. It may have not even been that amount. It might have been
I think it was like
7.
less.
Yeah, I think
So,
it might have
yeah.
been 7. And Steve Stillman was one of the agents that hit Annuity Hall of Fame for the year 2023. So if anyone needs help with annuities and has direct questions, Steve is amazing. And he's a great trainer, and he's always more than willing to help. He was on the call a few weeks ago. If you didn't catch that team call, definitely go back and watch it. But Steve, I call him the annuity GOAT. He knows what he's doing, and he knows the products inside and out. So if anybody has annuity questions, he's definitely the person to go to on the team for sure. And sorry, Jordan, I did not mean to interrupt you. I'm going to mute myself now because I'll just keep talking.
No worries. I was just going to say, just like one of the things that everybody was saying, which is it's not a secret Krabby Patty formula or anything like that with this business. Like, it's literally a system. And, you know, you plug into that system and everybody uses the exact same system. When you see people up there getting those type of awards and those accolades, it goes to show who's just actually using the system and who's working. And you know, you just got to differentiate yourself by working harder than most. One of the guys that was up there, he was talking about like literally being the last person to leave the office. Like he stayed at the office till midnight because there was one other person there, and he was like, "I'm not leaving until this person leaves the office. Like I'm nobody's gonna outwork me." And I think that's the mentality that all these, you know, Hall of Fame producers and all these other people that are, you know, like producing at a high level, that these are the commonalities that they have.
Right. For sure. For sure. They just get after it, go to work, plug in. So absolutely. Can anyone do it? No, but anyone that works really hard, plugs into the system and stays consistent, can they do it? Absolutely. So guys, I'm really excited going into 2024. I know we're already a month in, but with that all being said, if anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Again, Liz, Yana, Jordan, thank you guys all so much for sharing.